How many times have you felt a subtle tension deep inside? A quiet yet persistent sense that something in your life isn't quite right. You couldn't always explain it. Maybe it wasn't loud, maybe it didn't come with chaos, but it lingered in the background, whispering that something was off. And yet, you stayed. You stayed in that relationship, in that job, in that version of yourself, because it was familiar, because it was safe, because stepping into the unknown felt terrifying. And perhaps, somewhere along the way, you convinced yourself that this is simply what life is, that struggle is normal, that dissatisfaction is part of being an adult, that you shouldn't expect too much. But if you listen closely, beneath the noise of daily routines and obligations, you'll hear a small voice inside you. It doesn't shout, but it speaks truth. It says, "You deserve more than this." Have you ever wondered why you continue to tolerate things that quietly drain you? Why you settle for relationships that leave you feeling lonely, or environments that numb your spirit? What keeps you stuck there? Is it fear of starting over? Is it the pressure to meet others' expectations? Or is it something even more hidden? A belief buried deep in your subconscious that maybe, just maybe, you're not worthy of something better. Carl Jung, one of the greatest thinkers of the modern era, believed that the world around us is a reflection of what's going on within us. If we repeatedly accept less than we desire, it's not just bad luck or circumstance. It's often a signal that we haven't yet recognized our own worth. So what would happen if you stopped settling? What if self-love wasn't about bubble baths or motivational quotes, but about changing the entire standard by which you live your life? What if it meant saying no more to what no longer serves your growth, your joy, your peace? In this video, we'll explore Carl Jung's timeless wisdom and discover how your self-worth is the very foundation of a life that feels aligned, free, and fulfilling. Because when you truly love yourself, not just on the surface but deeply, you naturally stop accepting anything that makes you shrink, hide, or question your value. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to the Mental Do channel and join our Telegram community, where we continue the conversation around personal transformation and spiritual growth. Now, let's begin this journey inward. To settle is easy. To convince yourself that this is just how life is takes no effort at all. But truly changing, rising above the patterns that keep you small, requires something more. It begins with a decision, a quiet, firm decision to finally know yourself, to meet your shadow, to stop living a life that only scratches the surface of who you truly are. Many believe that transformation must be dramatic, quitting a job, ending a relationship, moving to a new place. But real change starts much deeper. It begins within. It's in the way you speak about yourself, in the way you respond when something doesn't go your way, in the energy you bring into a room. These subtle shifts, when aligned with self-worth, ripple outward. And when your inner energy changes, your outer world inevitably follows. It's not about waiting for a perfect moment. It's about becoming the person who no longer waits. Because when you truly love yourself, your entire reality begins to shift. Not because life suddenly becomes easier or more fair, but because your standards rise. You stop entertaining connections that drain you, because you now crave depth, not drama. You walk away from work that suffocates your purpose, because you know your time is sacred. You no longer excuse disrespect, because you've finally seen your own value. But this path, it's not for the faint of heart. Carl Jung called it individuation, the journey of becoming your true self. It's a process of shedding everything that was never really you, the expectations, the roles, the masks. It means questioning what you were taught, facing what you fear, and letting go of comfort that comes at the cost of your soul. Many people stay where they are, even if it means suffering, simply because the unknown terrifies them more than the pain they've grown used to. But here's the question: how much longer will you keep shrinking yourself to fit into a life you've outgrown? How many more times will you ignore that whisper inside, the one that keeps saying, "There is more"? The truth is, life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. There is no perfect sign, no divine flash of lightning will come down and tell you it's time. The only sign you need is already there, living in your discomfort, in your longing, in your restlessness. That is your soul calling you home. And when you finally choose to listen, when you let go of what no longer resonates with who you are becoming, something beautiful happens. You begin to attract the right people, the right opportunities, the right experiences, not because the world has changed, but because you have. Carl Jung spoke of synchronicity, those seemingly random but meaningful coincidences that occur when we are aligned with our authentic self. What once felt unreachable now finds its way to you. Not because it wasn't possible before, but because now you are ready. But let's be honest, this journey isn't always smooth. There will be days when you doubt yourself, moments when you feel tempted to return to what's familiar. Because growth is not comfortable, it stretches you. Your mind will tell you it's safer to stay, but that's the great illusion. The comfort zone is not safe. It is a slow death of your potential, disguised as stability. When you begin to choose yourself fully, everything starts to change. You create boundaries, not out of anger, but out of love. You stop chasing those who can't meet you where you are. You release the urge to prove yourself or to shrink to make others comfortable. You begin to move with clarity and purpose. Your decisions are no longer rooted in fear, but in self-respect. And the world, in return, opens up. Not because it suddenly favors you, but because now, you are in harmony with who you truly are. Here's the truth. Most people wait for evidence before they believe they can change. They wait for signs. They wait for validation. They wait for life to prove they are worthy. But real transformation doesn't work like that. You must choose yourself first. You must believe in your worth before the world reflects it. You are not waiting for a sign, you are the sign. This path isn't linear. Some days you'll feel powerful. Other days you'll feel lost. That's okay. Healing isn't a straight line. Self-love isn't a destination, it's a daily practice. And every time you say no to what no longer serves you, you say yes to the life you were always meant to live. So now, let me ask you, have you ever stayed in a situation you knew wasn't right for you? What was the moment that finally woke you up? Or are you still waiting for something to push you? Share your experience in the comments. You never know. Your story might be the very thing someone else needs to hear today. And if this message resonated with you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the Mental Dose channel, and join our Telegram community for more insights on personal awakening and conscious living. You are worthy. You always were. Now it's time to live like it.